How would you like to know the top 4 mistakes people make when they concealed carry? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. My name is Jason Hanson. I'm a former CIA officer. I'm the New York Times bestselling author of Spy Secrets Can Save Your Life. And when I turned 21, I got my concealed carry permit in Virginia, which was when I was allowed to get it, And so I've been carrying a gun ever since, whether it was with the CIA or as a regular citizen. I also have trained thousands of people in concealed carry and pistol courses at our 320-acre spy range. So I know just a little bit about concealed carry, and I've seen a lot of things. So let's start with mistake number 1 that concealed carry owners, new owners, make. The first one is printing. Well, what does that mean? It means when they're carrying their gun, you can see it, and it basically announces to the whole world like, hey, right here, I got my gun. It shows through your t-shirt, it's bulging out of your hip. It's obvious to the entire world that, hey, I don't have a gun. I'm carrying concealed. Nobody can see this. But obviously, it's obvious to the entire world that you are carrying a gun. If you're new to concealed carry, before you go out of the house, look in the mirror. Spin around in the mirror and see, is the gun bulging out? Is it printing through my t-shirt at all? You should not be able to see anything, hence the name concealed. Nobody's supposed to know what's there. So the number 1 mistake is printing. Number 2 is not having a loaded gun. People don't put around in the chamber. If you are not comfortable enough to have a loaded gun, then you shouldn't be carrying concealed. So it blows my mind. I think it's absolutely crazy when people are like, oh yeah, I'm carrying concealed, but no, I don't have a round in the chamber for safety purposes. Nonsense. Of course, we know the safety's up here. We know the safety is your finger. But in a dangerous situation, in the heat of the moment, you're not going to remember to chamber that round. You're going to come out, you're going to pull the trigger, it's going to go click because you have an empty chamber. The story I always tell about this is the guy, he came and trained with me. His wife was anti-gun, but she would allow him to have a gun in the house as long as it wasn't loaded. So he could have a magazine in there, but no round in the chamber. And he said, that's what I got to do because I promised my wife. Well, he almost had a home invasion one day. He had his gun out, guys pounding, trying to kick in the door. He's yelling at the guy that he's got a gun. The home invader ran off and the police letter got him. But he said, Jason, I realized after the guy stopped kicking and that noise died down and he left, and I started to calm down, that I was sitting there with my gun pointed at the front door and I didn't chamber the round. If that guy had kicked in the front door, meaning the criminal, and the homeowner pulled that trigger, it would have gone click and the criminal could have been on top of him. So you're not going to remember to chamber that round. So always have a loaded gun. That is a huge mistake that I see new concealed carry owners make. What is the number 3 mistake? The number 3 mistake is ego. New gun owners, especially young guys, and remember I got my concealed carry permit when I was 21, so I was probably that guy, is their ego goes through the roof. They think they're John Wayne now that they have a concealed carry permit, now that they've got a gun in their pocket or on their hip or whatever, and they're just waiting for the battle like, yeah, I dare somebody to mess with me. That is the exact opposite of how you want to be if you're carrying concealed. Those of us who carry concealed need to be more humble, need to avoid confrontation at all costs because we have a gun on us that we only want to use as a last resort. So, I've been places, traffic, some guy flips you off, which of course nobody likes, you get angry, but you just let it go. Because you have a gun on your hip, do you really want to give that guy the middle finger back, get in a fight and end up having to use your gun? Obviously not. So swallow your ego, swallow your pride, and don't be like those young guys or new knuckleheads who think they're James Bond, John Wayne, whatever, the slickest guy in the world because they now have a permit. So swallow your pride, be humble. The number 4 mistake is that new concealed carry holders are touching that gun all the time to make sure it's there. So whether it's on their hip, whether it's on their pocket, they're like, okay, is it there? They're walking down the street or they're in 7-Eleven or wherever they might be and they're touching that gun like crazy. So right now I do have a gun in my front pocket. The gun I have in my front pocket, I'll slowly take it out because it's in the sheath and I'm gonna bring it out with the sheath, is a 6-hour P365. Great little pocket gun. I carry concealed often with it. Whether it's on your hip, whether it's in your pocket, wherever it is, don't touch it. If you use a quality holster, which you should obviously have a quality holster, you don't need to keep checking your gun like a crazy person because you're announcing to the entire world that you're carrying concealed. So those are some of the top 4 mistakes that I see people make. Of course, there's other mistakes such as not training. If you're going to carry concealed, you need to know how to use it. You need to know how to draw and fire that gun. Go to the shooting range. I realize all of us are incredibly busy these days, but try and go every few weeks. I mean, I try and go once a week. I don't expect anybody to do that, but maybe go once a month or maybe go every 60 days. You need to train with this gun. You need to build that muscle memory. I dry fire every morning for 10 minutes. What does that mean? Well, with a safe and empty weapon and a safe backstop, I come out and I just pull the trigger and practice my draw. So those are some of the things you can do for training, because if you don't know how to use a gun, if you don't know how to draw it, it's not going to do you much good in a dangerous situation. So I hope you enjoyed those concealed carry mistakes. Make sure you like, subscribe. I've got a lot more of that information. And if you want to know some awesome new gun tips, make sure and click below and see those. Have a wonderful rest of the day. I'm former CIA officer Jason Hanson, and I think I might be going to the shooting range right now.